So if you're a golfer who's been struggling with swinging over the top for a long time, but no matter what you do, you just can't seem to fix it, that over the top is always there, well, this is the video for you, because I'm going to talk about exactly why you've been practicing it for so long to fix it and you can't fix it, and of course what we need to do to be able to finally fix the over the top. So I'm Jonathan Chown with JChownGolf. Let's dive right into it. So, over the top downswings, that excessive out to wind path resulting in slices and sometimes some big pulls, by far one of the most common things we see golfers struggle with. And it is renowned for being one of the hardest things to fix in the golf swing. But the only reason why that is because golfers are working on the complete wrong thing when they're trying to fix their over the top downswing. And they are trying to fix the visual aspect of it, the actual physical movement of that club being thrown over the top. That makes sense, doesn't it? You want to fix your over the top swing, you actually fix this portion of it. But that will get you pretty much nowhere, because that is not fixing the reason why this is happening. Over the top golf swings are happening because you're doing something else in the golf swing that's causing you to swing over the top. You could do so many over the top fixing drills, and like we said, you'll just get absolutely nowhere. You need to target the root cause to the issue. So, root causes, that is something that is causing you to have a specific fault in the downswing, in our case, over the top. And if they're not fixed, you'll never fix that problem. So, I'm going to put a card up here for a very in-depth video about root causes for over the top, because here we're just going to talk about two for the general structure that you have to employ to be able to fix over the top golf swings. So we need to fix the root cause and we need to work on the visual effect almost at the same time to have the best results for this. So let's get into the first one here. So the first most common reason I see that golfers do swing over the top, the big root cause, is overactive upper body rotation to start the downswing. So when they're starting the downswing, upper body rotates far too fast, because in a downswing, to have good path creation, so not getting that club thrown too much out in front of you, we need to start the sequencing from the ground upwards. So we ideally want the downswing to start with the lower body and mid torso, so really from rib cage and down. We want that to turn and rotate, separate first, and then we want the upper body to actually be quite passive in the first movement. And then once the lower body and mid torso turn, that torque and tension will then pull the upper body through and rotate it through naturally. You can see as I do that, just an exaggeration, that club falls on path, actually shallows out quite a bit as well. But if the upper body rotates too hard too early, it just gets thrown over the top. So let's say, for example, we did just the stereotypical classic, really over the top kind of drill, which would be like an alignment stick out the ground. I've got my swing plate here, and we just hit some balls trying to swing underneath this, to where this would give us some good results straight away whilst we're doing the drill. So I'm just trying to miss this stick and I won't swing over the top, but let's hit one here. So really swung on the inside there, that's for sure. But when I take that away, I'm going to still swing over the top because I haven't targeted the reason. So this is great. This is a really good drill. We're going to use this, but not quite now, because we need to target the root cause, which is, for this reason, upper body rotating too hard. So when the upper body is rotating too hard, we need to calm that down a little bit. So we need to target a drill, usually without a golf ball, for the root cause. So you can see here, if you've watched a few of my videos, you've definitely seen this before, and you've definitely seen these hanging down the side of my net here, my resistance bands. So I use this with my online coaching a lot for my students who do over rotate their upper body too fast, to work on their root cause of the issue of swinging over the top. So what we do here, we grip a resistance band. So a resistance band up to an upright here, and we get into kind of like a makeshift top of the backswing position. So not really fully rotated and turned, that's why it's makeshift. And then because I'm gripping a resistance band, I now can't turn my upper body all that much at all before it just generally stops me. There's too much resistance there. So now I can purely work on turning lower body and lower body, mid torso, whilst keeping the upper body very passive. So that is going to create this nice separation here. So this is going to create the proper sequencing. So you're going to feel a very big response by doing a drill like this, a root cause targeting drill. this you have to do first. You have to work on your root cause. So if you don't have a resistance band, you can grab onto, let's say, the side of a door, for example. So a door frame, you could grab onto an upright just like this. So now certainly with my left arm, I can't be rotating my body because I can't move something that is, you know, almost in the ground. So I've now got to rotate and separate my lower body. There we go. So that is going to target my root cause. Now I can move into hitting golf balls with a standard drill like with my swing plate here. I can do this, and this is going to be effective now, but only if I target it with a nice thought as well, a nice root cause targeting thought. So we've already identified, okay, if this is our problem, then we're rotating upper body too hard. Most of you swing over the top, this is you, so this will be brilliant for you to practice straight away after you watch this. So now I've done my root cause targeting drills without a golf ball. I can do it perfectly. Now I can do it with a golf ball, with something that's forcing me to swing on the path I want, which is the reason why you most likely were doing this before. So to add in a good thought for the root cause as well, I could be thinking, right, yes, of course, I want to miss this in the downswing, but if I feel like my chest is pointing at you guys for as long as I can, or I could be thinking of my upper back pointing to the target as long as I can in the downswing, then I'm going to be calming down that excessive upper body move. So a nice thought and a drill that's forcing me in a position, it's going to be the best bang for your buck for fixing this problem. So I've targeted root cause. Now I'm doing a drill that targets root cause as well, with a drill that targets the effect. So I'm going to point my chest at you guys for as long as I can in the downswing, swing underneath this. My upper body will be moving way more passively. I won't be swinging over the top. So to give another example of how you've got to work on fixing your over-the-top golf swing, and this is by the second most common reason why we see people swing over the top, and this is because your left arm or your hands are in too high of a position at the top of your golf swing. So we're not talking about height as in how high they are, we're talking about height as in a lack of depth. So depth in the golf swing with anything means more behind. So if we have a lack of something, that means it's more on top of our body here. So this lack of depth to our hands and our left arm at the top of the golf swing will always result, if we just rotate and move freely in the downswing, with an over-the-top golf swing. So it doesn't matter how good our sequencing is doing this, we will still swing over the top. We might see players who do make up for this, dropping the trail side down really early or early extending. That's another reason for early extension as well. So one you don't really want in your golf swing. So this is one that will very much not be picked up by a lot of normal club pros out there, because it's still something that's not very much known for maybe people who took their PGA exams a very long time ago. So if you've had lessons, still this might be a problem for you and it might have not been picked up. So with that left arm traveling too high, yep, we know we're going to swing over the top. So we could do as much of this as we want again. We could do as much of with this stick coming out of the ground or out of the swing plate here. If I've got that high left arm, I could still somehow get my body, like we said, dropping the trail side down to swing underneath it. But as soon as I take that out of the way, I'm just still going to be swinging over the top. So how we work on this is, one, we've got to understand what really causes you to lose your depth at the top of the backswing and not have enough of it. And that is the main reason is you're not getting enough turn in the backswing. You're just mainly trying to do your backswing with your arms. So when we have a very arm dominant backswing, the arms will travel up rather than following an arc around us. So we need to really make sure the body is having a good, nice turn. Now, again, commonly this will be told as you need to get more shoulder turn, but how many of us can get good shoulder turn? Not me, I can't. I need to feel like I'm getting more hip turn, and that will give me more shoulder turn. Very underutilized in the golf swing for people is your hip turn. So adding more hip turn can fix your over the top golf swing. So as you're swinging back in that backswing, really feel like your hips are really turning. I love the feel of having that left knee, very old school, pointing a little bit behind the golf ball at the top of the backswing. That will free up your hip turn, and that will force your left heel to raise up a little bit. So again, a lot of instructors might say this is a big no, but we saw all the best players of all time back in the day all used to do this. That would free up your hip turn, free up your range of motion, which will then give you a nice deep position at the top of the backswing, and will also result in you hitting the ball a little bit further because you've got more turn, and you'll start slamming that heel down into the ground naturally, getting a little bit more power coming through the ground as well. Brilliant move to do. So more turn in your backswing. Now, this is where this problem is actually quite convenient. It's because we can work on the root cause and the drill very well together. So let's say if you don't have a swing plate, which I'll very much recommend getting for the reason I'm going to talk about in a minute for this problem here, is, yep, you can focus on getting that more body turn via more hip turn, which will then force your hands a little bit more around you, which will give you the more depth. When we rotate in the golf swing, our hands follow our rotation. So more rotation means the hands are going more around us. So we could have this here, and we could think of that good hip turn, which will be giving me the good depth. And then swinging underneath this, that would be great doing it in just a normal alignment stick manner. But if we have something like the swing plate, we could do something like this, where you can get an extension pole for it. And you could stick this pole all the way out just like this. So you can see now, what is this doing? This is getting me to where now I can work on my left arm depth. So if I lower that down just a little bit more, there we go, perfect. So if my left arm now travels too high, hitting the stick. So to do this properly, like we said, we want to turn our body. We don't just want to force our hands and arms around us. But if I'm working here, something like this with the swing plate, you could also have a golf bag and stick an alignment stick out of a golf bag to get it at the right height. But I can be working on this perfectly now, and this will result in me fixing my overtop if this is my root cause reason. So really getting that good turn around there. This is really actually quite difficult. So let's do this, get a good turn and swing underneath the stick. Oh yeah, God, that really forced me to do it there. Certainly an area I don't struggle with. I sometimes get too much depth at the top of the backswing. So I don't want to be hitting too many balls demonstrating this, because it won't be good for my golf swing. But for me, who doesn't struggle with this, I found that hard. I found that really hard to miss this. So for you guys out there who really have that high left arm position, high hand position at the top, this is going to help you massively. So big full turn, lift up that left heel, get that left knee behind the golf ball, and then swing underneath the stick. Yeah, really felt it there guys. So you can see, if you're not targeting your root cause, there is no way that you're going to fix your over the top golf swing. It's just not going to happen. You might luckily stumble into it. Very rare though. So you might be practicing just the standard drill like this, and it might magically fix your out of sequence nature in your downswing. Might do that, but very rare. You need to work on your root cause first, otherwise you're spinning your wheels. So like we said, these are just the couple most common ones. There are more to this, and I am going to be making a course in the not too distant future, in the next couple of months, about over the top golf swings, everything you need to know about them, and how to practice just like this to really fix it properly. So look forward to that one as well. That's going to be a good one out there, but you've got to make sure you're practicing it in the proper way. Root cause, then work on the effect, and then you're going to finally fix it. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too, to be notified every time I put out a video. So root cause, then effect, you'll fix your over the top.